All right. It's true. Perfectionism is not a four-letter word. It's not one of those four-letter words that we think of as bad or curse words. But the truth is, being perfectionistic can really have a lot of negative consequences. Being a perfectionist in life can be really, really difficult and draining. And also, if you yourself are a perfectionist, your own perfectionism can actually end up frustrating sometimes some of the people around you. So, I wanted to share this video today as a companion video to another video that I did on how perfectionism, being really perfectionistic, can actually feel like an addiction. And the reason is because there's no true end point. There is no point when a person is really perfectionistic where they say, you know what? It's actually perfect. It's actually perfect. And they feel that sense of peace of mind. Even if somebody does have a moment where they've been working on something, striving to make it just right, well, even if they have a moment where they feel like, no, this actually did turn out really well, before you know it, they are just on to the next pursuit to be perfectionistic in that. And here's the thing, why is a person really perfectionistic? What's going on? And here's the thing, people who are perfectionists tend to be overthinkers. They tend to excessively think and focus, and to some extent, fixate on behaviors. Now, one of the things that I don't encourage people to do who are already overthinkers, I don't encourage them as a psychologist to think too much more about a particular problem they're dealing with. Why? Because overthinking sometimes is actually related to the problem. So, one of the things that can be helpful if you are somebody who deals with perfectionism and you actually feel like you want a break from it, you want to get off the perfectionistic train, one of the things that's helpful, according to acceptance and commitment therapy, an evidence based type of therapy, there is a ton of research that one of these techniques is helpful, and that's this one, going back to your values. Going back to your values and looking at them. Now, everybody has a personal value system. People have different values. Think for a moment, if you had to ask yourself, what are maybe 3 or 4 of the things in life that you value most? What would you say some of those are? My guess is that perfectionism, being a perfectionist, isn't one of them. You might, like so many people, say relationships are important to you. Maybe family is important to you. If you're a parent, maybe you would say being a good mom or a good dad. Maybe it's being a good family member to somebody in another way, maybe a good husband or wife. That's something that you value. Here's the thing, when you get stuck on a behavior or in a pursuit, when you get stuck in those moments, one thing that you can do is ask yourself, wait a minute, am I stuck in perfectionism in this moment? Am I stuck on the hamster wheel? And a lot of times it will be yes. Ask yourself this, what are 3 of the things that I value most in my life? And then come up with your little list of them. If, for example, one of the things on that list is relationships, something you can do is you can step away from the pursuit of whatever fixated, perfectionistic behavior you are currently focused on. Because again, remember, you can try and you can try and you can try, but it's never enough. It often will never be good enough to bring you any real peace of mind. So, what you do in those moments after doing a quick values check, a quick personal values check, is to shift your attention and your behavior to something positive that you do value. One example, if something you value is relationships, is you can say, you know what? Let me do this. When was the last time I checked on a family member who lives out of state? Maybe I could go spend a few minutes and sit with my son or daughter and ask how they're doing and see if there's anything they need from me right now. Maybe I could go make something to eat for somebody that I live with. If I have a dog, maybe I could take my dog for a walk, because those are things that you may value more. So sometimes a cognitive shift like this in the moment of perfectionism to say, whoa, it's time for a value check, can be really helpful. And again, as I close this video, what I want to share is you're not overthinking when you do this. In fact, you are getting out of your head, which is where you're living when you're stuck in a perfectionistic moment, in a perfectionistic spiral. You're shifting into positive, productive behavior. And you know what? A lot of these behaviors will actually lead to you feeling a little greater sense of connection in your life. And that is really what people really want at the end of the day. I'm Dr. Seth, psychologist.